and I'm looking forward to seeing Malcolm Marx, Eben Etzebeth in particular, along with the back three of the forwards of South Africa, trying to control this game. But Ireland can bring it, there's no doubt about it. I'm not writing Ireland off. As you can see, I'm probably sitting on the fence right now. But Ireland versus South Africa this weekend, perhaps one of the biggest games of the weekend, and I'm sure that both Rassie and Andy Farrell are really looking forward to it. I'm going to give you my preview of that game right now in this video. But as I walk to my favorite seat in the park, I just want to give you some names. Manuel Romero from Argentina, Rebecca Lockyer from Australia, Com Kelly from Ireland, Gerald Lima from Japan, and Marty Collins from Thailand. All recent members of United Rugby Fans signing up their free membership to be part of our fantastic global movement that's going to change the face of rugby across the world. I'm absolutely confident of that because you're telling me that. You're telling me that we can make a difference through United Rugby Fans. So make sure you send me an email. Let me know what country you're from. It's completely free to sign up to United Rugby Fans. I'll send you a bunch of information on how you can get involved and support the cause, and we go and change the world of rugby together. Okay, let's sit down and talk about this great game. So every round in this year's Autumn International Series, we've had some spicy games, haven't we? And Ireland versus South Africa, well, it doesn't get much more spicy than that. The two teams have just been announced. I've just got the Irish team, so I'm going to go through both of the teams, look at the combinations, and have a look at who's up against each other and see whether we can work out how this game's going to go together. Don't forget, I always want to hear your thoughts and opinions, and the best way to do that is to leave a comment, of course, and do that just after you've hit the subscribe button of this video. Okay, so let's look at the matchups across the field, and this is going to be really interesting indeed. We'll start off in the backs today, and we'll have a look at the back three first of all. And for South Africa, we're going to see Damian Willemse, we're going to see Cheslin Kolbe, and we're going to see Kainan Moodie. Yes, Kainan Moodie's been moved back to the wing. Not too sure about this one for me. I like him better in the centres, but we'll see what's happened with the Rassie's selection, and it might make sense to us all. Now, on the Irish side, we're going to see Mac Hansen, O'Brien, and we're going to see James Lowe. So there we go. Ireland are sticking with Mac Hansen at fullback. Had a superb game against Australia last weekend, didn't he? And I think he deserves that. But all truth be told, I think South Africa's got the edge here. I like the fact that Moodie's on the wing. He can cause damage out there. He's good under the high ball. I think that's going to be an important part. And Damian Willemse is having a season and a half. And we know what we're going to get from Cheslin Kolbe. So this is a very good back three for South Africa. I slightly give them the edge over the Irish. But don't forget, Mac Hansen scoring those 3 tries last weekend against Australia. Very good under the high ball as well. And James Lowe, you know I talk about it, that left foot kick to get them out of trouble when they need to. So this matchup is going to be really interesting. Okay, let's move on now to the midfield, and the South Africans, Rassie has gone with the dependable duo, as I call them, on my channel. Yes, it's going to be Jesse Creel and Damian Deolandi at 12 and 13. And I think this is important to understand because this is why Kainan Moodie's gone out to the wing for this particular game. It gives South Africa a bit more height in the back three, and I think Rassie is expecting some high ball peppering from both Jamison Gibson Park and the Irish number 10, and we'll get to that shortly. So the two dependables are in there. Let's see how they go. And on the Irish side, well, it's Andy Farrell doing the same thing really, because we're going to see Gary Ringrose and Bundy Aki in the 12 and 13. We saw Aki come off the bench last weekend. This time he's back in there, and I feel a little bit more confident in this Irish midfield. I think this is going to be a really interesting battle during the game. I can't really pick it. If Aki and Ringrose have one of their games of the season, I think they can blow open the midfield for the Irish, but we'll have to see what kind of quality ball they get. Okay, let's move on now to the 9 and 10 combinations for both teams. And on the Irish side, it's going to be Jamison Gibson Park, who, let's face it, is playing fantastic rugby at the moment. Last weekend his kicking was extraordinary, and his positional play is fantastic as well. He's got to be one of the best halfbacks in world rugby right now. And outside him, Sam Prendergast gets the nod. He did enough last weekend. I thought he was very good. Those ghosting runs, his kicking, he did a drop goal as well last weekend. Great performance from Sam Prendergast, and it's good to see him in the jersey number 10 this weekend. On the South African side, well, it doesn't get much better. We've got Cobus Reinhardt at number 9 and Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu at number 10. The intention is there from Rassie, and I think we're starting to see the threads now of Rassie's A-team, if we want to call it that. He's starting to show that Kobus and Sasha Feinberg and Ngoma Zulu are his go-to 9 and 10, and let's see how they go this weekend. I'm going to give it slightly to South Africa here. I think they've got the edge. Reinhardt is playing brilliant rugby this year. Haven't really been able to fault him throughout the season. And Sasha, well, we know what brilliance he can bring. It's a good matchup though against these two young guys in Sam Prendergast and Sasha Feinberg in Ngoma Zulu. Let me know what you think's going to happen in the comments between those particular matchups at 9 and 10. Now let's move on to talk about the forwards, because as most of you say, this is where the game's won and lost. The backs are there just to determine how many points they put on the board. So let's start off with the South African back three in the forwards, and we're going to see Jasper Wiese, Peter Steftertoy and Sia Kolisi. Kolisi will be captain, of course. What a wonderful back three this is. They're all playing well this year for the Springboks. And of course, Peter Steftertoy nominated as Player of the Year by World Rugby. That's going to change next year. Stay tuned for more news on that one. So for the Irish, they've got a damn good back three as well, when we're talking about Caelan Doris at number 8, and then Josh van der Flair and Baird in the loosies. What a matchup this is going to be. I can't pick it between these two. I think this is going to be a great collision and competition for the breakdown in this game. And maybe whoever comes out on top in this one is going to end up helping their team win the game. I just can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be a fantastic competition between the loose forwards on both teams. And they're both playing very, very good rugby at the moment. So they're in form, and that's exactly what we want to see. Now it continues to get really interesting, because we're talking about the tight 5 now on both teams. And for South Africa, in the locking positions this weekend, number 5, we're going to see Ruan Nokia, and we're going to see that big man back again, Eben Etzebeth. So fantastic locks for South Africa. And then in the front row is Thomas du Toit, Malcolm Marx and Boan Venter for the South Africans. Now looking at the Irish, we're going to see Byrne and Ryan as the locks, and in the front row we're going to see Furlong, Porter and Sheehan, of course, as the hooker. We've perhaps got the 2 best hookers in world rugby at the moment, and Dan Sheehan and also Malcolm Marx playing in this game. These guys are extraordinary. They both know how to score fantastic tries, and they're both good in general play, and they're also very good in the breakdown area as well. So watch out for this tight 5 battle to be really spectacular. I'm going to give it slightly to South Africa just because of their experience, and because they've got Malcolm Marx playing exceptional rugby. The experience of Eben Etzebeth and the lineouts will be a big thing, I think, in this game. And I think with Thomas du Toit coming back in, this is going to shore up the front row for the Springboks. But it's going to be close. It's going to be a battle. I think the Irish forwards did well against Australia last weekend, but this is the next level up for the Irish forwards, and they're going to really need to prove themselves against the Springboks pack. And that's where it's going to be the telling part of the game for me. So watch for the tight 5 of the Springboks, I think, to get the advantage. And let's hope discipline is not an issue in this particular game, and we don't see anyone going to sit down in the sin bin for 10 minutes or getting a red card. Okay, the bench is where it's going to be all told, I think, in this game, because as we've seen from the Springboks throughout the last part of the season, their last 30 or 40 minutes in a game of rugby at the moment is exceptional. They're not only scoring points, they're being able to control the game, and that's what I think we're going to see again in this game if they play to the potential they have on paper. So let's have a look at the Springboks bench, and we're going to see the front row of Grobelaar, Steenenkamp and Wilco Low come on, and it doesn't get any better in my opinion. Grobelaar played fantastic last week in my opinion. Steenenkamp came on early in the game, and Wilco Low, well, he's the beast that comes on and shores up that South African scrum in the second half if that's when he's going to be used. And then to back it up, we've got 3 more potential forwards in R.G. Snowman, Quagga Smith and Andre Esterhuizen, who's playing in that hybrid position for the Springboks. So Rassie's got the ability there to flick the switch on Esterhuizen, whether it be a back or a forward, and I think that's going to be the key in this particular game. And then for the backs, we're going to see Grant Williams, Mani Lebok. It's starting to be a standard operating procedure for the Springboks when it comes to their backs off the bench. And I think it doesn't get much better than these two in world rugby at the moment, to be absolutely honest. So can the Irish bench match those South Africans coming off the bench? I don't think they can, but let's have a look at who they are. We're going to see Kelleher, McCarthy and Beelum to start off with. Then we're going to see Sian Prendergast, and then we're going to see Jack Conan, of course. So they're very good players, no doubt about it. I was extremely impressed with Prendergast last week when he came on. He really made a difference for Ireland. But again, as I keep saying, this is next level. This is not Australia. This is the Springboks. So he's going to have to go to that next level. And then in the backs for the Irish, we're going to see Casey and Jack Crowley come on, and also Tom Farrell. So there's a new name for us coming off the back for many of us in the Irish team. So again, I'm going to give the bench prowess to the South Africans, and as a result of that, you're probably hearing in my voice today that I think South Africa is going to win this game, but only if they can do what I've just said in terms of controlling it in those different areas. They need to win the lineouts, and they need good quality ball, and I think their forwards can do that from a scrumming position, and I think therefore they can set this very dangerous backline away with Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu calling a lot of the shots. I think we are going to see some high balls from Cobus Reinhardt and from Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu, and just see whether or not Mac Hansen, James Lowe and also O'Brien are going to be able to handle it and control it on a consistent basis. It's okay taking one high ball, but if you're going to drop the next two, that's where the pressure comes from, and I think that's where South Africa are going to be very, very focused. As I said, Kanan Moody, I think, is on the wing for the height that he brings, and also being able to cover that high ball that I think we're going to see for Jamison Gibson Park and Sam Prendergast, who's playing at 10, as I mentioned. So that's going to be a strategy of Ireland, no doubt about it. They're going to go to the high ball. They're going to see whether they can disrupt the South Africans at the back, and they're going to use those very fast loose forwards in Doris, Van der Fleer and Beard to try and get up and put pressure on the South Africans if they drop that high ball, and it creates a ruck and a maul situation. So I think it's going to be a really exciting game. I think there's also a huge potential for kicking to be important of this, and I'm talking about kicks at goal. So Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu and Sam Prendergast, who are going to be the designated kickers, I think, are going to have to make sure they get as many of the percentage over as they can, because it could be a couple of points win or loses this game. And I also mentioned that for Manny Lebok and Jack Crowley, who will come on at some stage during the game. It's going to be a game of inches. Those micro minutes, as we talk about a lot in my videos, are going to be important in this game. And if South Africa can play to the potential and to what we've been seeing them play over the last couple of weekends with 14 men, then I think they're going to be able to beat this Irish team. But I was super impressed with Ireland against Australia last weekend. I think they hit their straps right at the right time. And as a result of that, I think they're going to have a lot of self-belief. They're going to see that their combinations are working. And with Mac Hansen's performance last week, if he can go anywhere near close to that this weekend, then we're going to have a really, really tight game. As a rugby neutral in this one, I'm just looking forward to it. I think it's going to be super exciting. Yeah, I'm picking the Springboks, but it could go either way. But I just think it's going to be an enormously good game of rugby, and we should all get behind it and support it. And after we've finished watching this game, we should watch some of the other games that are going on this weekend, because as real rugby fans, we need to be supporting the game and the growth of the game across the world. So get behind some of those tier 2 nations and watch Scotland play against Tonga, and watch some of the other teams that are going around this weekend like Georgia and Uruguay as well. They deserve our presence as true rugby fans. That's what I believe. So there you go. That's what I think is going to happen in this game. I think it's going to be South Africa. I think it's going to be close. I just think they've got too much talent in the back line if they get quality ball from their forwards. And I'm looking forward to seeing Malcolm Marx, Eben Etzebeth in particular, along with the back three of the forwards of South Africa, trying to control this game. But Ireland can bring it, there's no doubt about it. I'm not writing Ireland off. As you can see, I'm probably sitting on the fence right now, but as I said, I just want to see a fantastic game of rugby. So before I leave you today, don't forget to sign up to United Rugby Fans. My email address is on the screen right now. All you got to do for your free membership, send me an email, tell me what country you are in, and that's it. I'll send you some more information. You can do with it what you want. You can support us in whatever capacity you want. The most important thing is we're giving you a louder voice as a rugby fan in the world of rugby, to stop this red card silly nonsense, to stop the poor investment in the game, to stop a lot of things that are happening in the game, things that you tell us that you want changed, not the things that we have on our mind. Okay, that's it for this particular preview show. Enjoy the game, come back afterwards, drop me your comments, let me know what you thought of it. Hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, do all that other stuff, and I'll see you again really soon here on Inside Rugby with Mark. Until then, It's time to say adios from beautiful Cancun in Mexico. Bye for now, everyone.